4G. So it should be running. Yep. So just gotten me a little breakfast in regards of 500 gram of beef. It's pretty good. Put some butter on it as well. You know, it's always good with butter, but the problem is there's some sugar in the butter, which you know, if you want to totally, you know, minimizes things, you need, you know, butter have some sugar. So some tallow would be nice, but the thing is, apparently it's like near to impossible to get tallow, which is pretty incredible. And of course, it's hard to actually find animals that is not slaughtered to Satan in our days. Even living in a nation like Denmark, apparently they have began to slaughter things to Allah, a false god with no son and all that. So, oh, here's the clove. It's actually pretty tasty. Said to be antibacterial as well. But I do, you know, it seems to be the best if you cut all the sugar out, you know, at least for me, you know. But, you know, I need some you know, coconut fat is said to be antibacterial as well, but I really don't like coconut. You know, the taste of coconut oil is just, it disgusts me. But it's said to be antibacterial and all that, so I have been using it, you know, in the past. Some say that you shouldn't use any oils, you know, because it's oxidizing and all that. I don't know. I would think that the fungi problem would probably be a worse thing than the oxidation, but damage. But of course, if you're getting food which is put in oil, whereas there's a lot of oxidation damage being done, that, you know, that's might not be a good thing. I don't know. I haven't, you know, the thing is, I haven't seen any test on it, you know, in regards of, is there a big problem in regards to the oils and oxidation, you know? Are we actually just drinking oxidation when we use oils or use them on the pan and all that? But usually I go with butter, you know, I would love to use tallow. And yeah, that's pretty much the two sources, you know, used for fat. But the thing is, you know, there's another form of butter that is called, what's it called? I can't remember what it's called, but it tastes somewhat, but you get the sugar out. That's true. You get the sugar out. What is it called? They remove the sugar from it. They boil they cook the butter. I actually have tried to make it myself twice or something like that. What you do is cook the butter, but I'm not sure I'm totally doing it totally correct. And but anyway, you of course I can get that, you know, here in Denmark. It's possible to get that. You can actually get it from grass-fed cows as well. It doesn't really taste as good as butter, but at least you get the sugar out, of course. So it would be nice to have the ability to get some tallow. And again, it's somewhat hard to, I tried different ways and all that. And it's not really, this society is not really, you know, it's made to getting us sick, you know. And in any case, I was listening to Doug because Doug was on the live, you know. In some sense, well, actually, in the biblical way, it would be today. In the Roman time thing, it would be last night, according to the last day in some sense, I guess. In Denmark, anyway. So, because I think he's on like 10 or 11 o'clock. So that would, of course, be, you know, at the end of the Roman day, but in the biblical day, beginning at sunset, it would actually be today. So, any case, so he had something to say, and I just wanted to, I know he has does some really goodies, you know, but anyway, here's one of the things that he, let's see.
These things, and I couldn't put them down. These are doctors, physicians. Not to diagnose and treat candidiasis is a serious error because I found it causes more misery among women than men, and than all other diseases combined. In fact, I call this condition the great mimetic because it mimics any disease from eye infections or allergy to colitis, cystitis, gastritis, brain tumor, 1995, multiple sclerosis, arthritis, and even insanity. In women, I find the most common symptoms include fatigue, headache, depression, bloating in the abdomen, vaginitis, sex and menstrual problems, memory loss, and a feeling of cobwebs in their thinking. I've also seen quite often the symptoms of fungal infections as muscle and joint pains, numbness, tingling in various parts of the body, nasal congestion, irritability, crying spells, hives, and itching. Occasionally, I've seen patients who have chronic constipation and or diarrhea with PMS, infertility, mitral valve prolapse. In fact, I've noticed that over 80% of the women who have been diagnosed as having mitral valve prolapse suffer from an overgrowth of Candida albicans. I have a friend who 30 years ago told me that he was treating men and women with mitral valve prolapse with antifungal approaches. In men, the most common symptoms I see are depression, headache, irritability, memory loss, along with impotency, impaired sex drive, bloating, and abdominal pain. I often see men who have jock itch and athlete's foot, along with prostatitis. Isn't that funny? That the prostate living inside our body can just be impregnated with this stuff. What happens when it is? What makes bread rise? Folks, the urethra, the urine tube of the male, goes right through the prostate, okay? Right through it. So what happens when this swells? It clamps down on the urethra. And first, I don't know why this doesn't happen during the day, but they tell me it happens at night. Men get up and they dribble. They have a full stream, they'd like to urinate and go back to bed. But they don't. Drip, 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 they dribble. Because the prostate is inflamed. Okay? And then among the most currently see fungal-related infections in children are among those of the nervous system. Wow. 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 Thank you, guys. Children. Those affect the nervous system. Common symptoms include in kids irritability, hyperactivity, short attention span, behavioral and learning problems. Moreover, the nervous system problems in some autistic children are fungus connected. Can I get an amen? 1995. Shh. Don't let that out to neurologists. Don't let that out to behavioral specialists and psychiatrists who would much prefer writing an antidepressant drug for your child. Moms, don't you want to help your child without running from doctor to doctor? Let me say, sometimes drugs can be life-saving, but not all the time. Okay? If I had a child who was autistic...
So anyway, he has some really gold nuggets, and I'm still on the marathon in regards of all his shows. And he does say a lot of the same things, but having new people on the show and all that. But man, he has some mixing in regard. He's a Roman Catholic, as far as I know, coming from a Roman Catholic. So he's promoting a lot of paganism as well. I've seen him promote yoga, Christ Mass, Easter, Halloween. What was it? The other, Sunday, and there was Valentine, whatever. All this pagan bullshit, and going to heaven as well, and other things. But anyway, you have to discern. But in regards to fungus issues, he really, in regards to the fungi, he really have done a lot of research on that and knows his stuff on that. So you just have to discern. There's some great information that he has in regards of fungus. So still listening to that. I think there's 40 left or something like that of my what is it called, of his that he put on the internet. Then of course he has the TV show, but as I understand it, he's more freely on the shows on YouTube and Facebook, because he can say whatever he wants without having issues, because he's not on television as such. And that's pretty good. Anyway, But it seems like maybe I should actually try to go back to, the thing is, the meat thing, I pretty much know that I can go back to the meat thing. It's not the cheapest thing, but it's a way to, in some sense, reset things. I still have, I have some things in regards of yogurt, trying that out, and I actually have some yogurt standing down, well, milk standing down there at the place of some heating here. I think it has stood there for 4 days or something like that, so it should be big. Last day, I think it was yesterday. I think in regards, I began to divide the things in the bottom, and I just took one of them and just swirled it around, and it seems like it's getting low in pH, so that's good. But yeah, in regards of actually having something to actually ferment it with, it should take around 24 hours. So I have some other yogurt standing in my oven, which is in a pot, and yeah, that tastes pretty good, and is very sour. So, but that gets a little more heated than the others, and it should be pretty. Let's just give it a swirl, or whatever it's called, with the pin here, and let's have a taste. And usually it's pretty sour at the last couple of days that I tried it. Yeah, it's maybe it's not that bad. Let's try again. No, it's actually not that bad. What is? Yeah. I should probably stand a little longer, but any case. So I've been looking into a machine as well. There's some what is called slow cookers that can do yogurt as well, where it heats it up to, I think, around 37 degrees. And then you put the if you had raw milk, you would put the raw milk into it and just let it stand for 20 to 24 hours. And at that point, it should peak in regards of having probiotic compared to, having low sugar. And we don't want too much sugar, So, and that's all the good what's it called? Probiotics, for life. And when you get to as I understand it, when you go low to 3 to 4 pH, that's, and drink it, it goes to the gut, and the bad guys don't like it. So, as far as I understand it. So that's something to, again, try out. But again, I would really like to have some real raw milk. But again, a little hard to actually, it's 100 kilometers. I need to travel 100 kilometers to actually get it. Which, of course, if you had a car, that would be pretty, it would be easier to do, but I don't. I don't have such. So, any case. But as I understand it, you can actually freeze raw milk down. I'm not sure if you lose things. You probably would lose some things with, you would probably destroy some things when you do that. I'm not sure how many liters could actually go into the machine. But the more the better, I guess, because then you could just buy and put it in the machine and let it actually, well, if it actually just begins the process itself, you might actually be able to buy it then, take it home and let it just stand there outside the fridge. I don't know. If it begins to ferment it for itself, if it's raw milk, you can just let it stand outside, I guess, and then makes the first portion of it and wait for 24 hours and just drop that, and then put the next batch into it and give it 20 to 24 hours. It shouldn't actually, even if you give it 24 hours, and it still have the peak level, and then I saw a graph, so it peaks around 24 hours, 20 to 24 hours. Then the probiotics peaks, and then they level off. So, but they level off for a pretty long time, well, a couple of, so it shouldn't actually be a problem if you should be able to actually make two batches, maybe three actually, before, you know, yeah, maybe more. I don't know. That would be interesting. Of course, I would need to be able to have all the milk with me in some way. So yeah, but yeah, let's see, 10 liters, 20 liters, 30 liters, and yeah, would be nice with a little wagon, or maybe yeah, but apparently they took that from me. I had a that would actually have been nice if I still had that, but because I could have taken that with me in the bus and the train. But last time they looked into bicycles, they took my. I forgot to write the name. Apparently, you need to rewrite the name on the things and all that. And I should actually have put it in my basement room instead of standing with the bicycles. But it didn't really, take up any space, and usually they didn't, take it away. But last time they took it, and yeah, I forgot all about the thing in regards of naming and all that. But that might actually have been a thing that I could, like what is it called? Whereas people use it for beer and all that and stack beers on it and then they drive, I can't remember what it's called in English. But I had an industry version of it that I found thrown out, and I've pretty much fixed it had something in regards to the air of the wheels, but apparently it didn't have a problem, after pumping it up, it was pretty good, So, and I gave it some oil and so forward, and it was pretty nice, an industry version, and it just worked perfectly. No problem at all. So I'm a little sad that they took that from me. So, oh well. That would have been a way to actually, maybe, I don't know, if one could make and put the milk down there at least. I don't know, I don't know. I guess I'll figure things out. Oh well, that's I have to figure that out. But anyway, you can get this thing to a slow cooker. Apparently, it's like 1,100 kroners or something like that. But a little more expensive than my other slow cooker for like 300 and 400 kroners. But apparently that's it can make yogurt. I tried the slow cooker and just made it to the lowest level, and that's way too hot. That would probably kill off the I think that would kill off the bacteria. Way too hot. Just around 37 degrees. I'm not sure if I take the lowest setting on the stove, if that actually would be possible, because then of course I could just use a big. I do have a big pot, and then just let it sit on the pot for 24 hours. That would be one way as well. I don't know. But anyway, it's said to be, if you want to eat yogurt and all that, in regards of candida and having issues in the gut and all that, that's the way you go. Yeah, so I guess I need to, this milk thing here probably should be ready for eating and all that. So anyway, just trying, but this is pasteurized milk that I have here, so not really raw milk again, because raw milk is just the most dangerous food source ever apparently. The cows are making it for oh yeah, so but now it's like a bad source of nutrition apparently. And then they totally destroy the milk and pass it over. So the only milk we can get in the Danish stores are Hitler milk, as I call it. Dead Jew milk, I just totally wiped out all the good things in the milk, and then they give it over to people. Oh! It's like, it's like a wonder when, we have this, there's this special milk, while the cows are only fed, natural food sources. So pretty much it seems like that all the cows in this nation that provides milk is apparently not fed natural food sources. They're fed all these unnatural food sources, and they're pushed to the limits in regards of milk production. It's incredible. It's I don't know how much antibiotic and hormones or whatever, what we use in the cows, but it wouldn't be a surprise if we give them a lot of that as well. Space as well, it's just incredible. So we're pretty much ruining everything, And besides that, we also, warm the milk afterwards. Of course, I understand it. It won't do the same thing as if you had raw milk. If you have raw milk and let it sit, as I understand it, I haven't tried this out, but as I understand it from other sources, it actually begins to ferment for itself. I'm not sure if you call it ferment. Yeah, but it begins to become sour. It begins to start. The good bacteria begins to turn this thing to a sour product. But as I understand it, if actually frozen down really quickly, just frozen, cooled down, and then, of course, by ruining our food sources, we ruin ourselves. And then not only that, of course, then we attack the body on so many other levels, like drinking a huge amount of alcohol, which is a product of fungi, a yeast, I think, anyway, a single cell yeast, as I understand it, makes the alcohol. And we drink a huge amount of that, which also, as I understand it, is ruined because we do things to that as well, the beer. In the past, it seems like they had natural raw beers with herbs and all that. That might actually... It's incredible how we are ruining our food sources. And how we're not allowed to have a sheep or a goat but it's a lot that law comes from and so forth. I need to check that at some point. But it's just... I think it's stupid. You are not allowed to have a goat or a sheep going around on your grass. That actually might help you actually keep the grass down, so you don't actually need to go out and run around with a machine and all that, or have a robot doing it. No, you could just have a goat or a sheep might be better in regards to the grass. I don't know. But anyway, no. And of course, there's variations of goat and lambs as well. So you could probably find a species that would actually be better to have than others, So, like we have variations of dogs and so forward, There's variations of sheep and goats. And there might be some that is better suited for doing that. And that could provide milk for the whole family. Raw milk. And sheep and goat would probably be, a good amount of size to getting. I'm not sure how much milk it can give, but a full cow is a pretty big animal to have walking around in your garden. That would be pretty huge. But a small goat or a goat or goat or a sheep is pretty much the same size as a dog. It's not. It's it would be pretty good to have that. It shouldn't be too much. Having a house and a garden and all that, and you can buy some hay for it when there's no food in the winter or whatever. Anyway, yeah. And it's, by the way, considered a clean animal compared to a dog, which is considered an unclean animal. And as I understand it, when the dog licks you and all that, you can get a lot of things from that dog. Yeah. In any case, what was the topic of this, by the way? Can't even remember. Oh yeah, that was Doug Kaufmann and all that. So I'm still looking at Doug Kaufmann, and it's morning. I actually, pretty much woken up at 3 o'clock or something like that. So that's not bad, I had an issue in regards to in the night, it's a lot of smoke. So I'm really happy that I needed to go up and pee. Because I had smoke all over my. I should probably get an alarm for, when I forget the food on the stove. This time it was tea, and I should probably get something that actually warns me about that. That was pretty bad. Very bad actually. So anyway, nice that I woke up. Um, had to clean the air and all that, have some windows open for sure, and yeah. But yeah, that was pretty annoying. I don't know how sometimes I just forget. It's really annoying. I see here. On Facebook, fears of parasites push people to post pictures of feces and pursue dangerous remedies. Wow. What is these dangerous remedies? Are these natural things like what's called black walnut and so forth? Oh well. You know, all the things that the medical mafia have, that's, they try to really, oh, they're not, they try to make them not dangerous in some sense. But, all the natural things and all that, oh, they just attack those. It's just incredible how the propaganda machines, works out. And if you're a doctor actually coming out with some truth in regards to some of their products, you might get fired and lose your license and all that. It's a disgusting system. Yeah. Protecting it's outrageous system. It's utterly outrageous. And I don't understand people protecting this system just because, oh, this is a business and blah 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 and so forward. It's criminal. You shouldn't make a business based on lies and deception. That's just wrong. It doesn't make it right just because this word in regards of the US and that it's just business. It's just, they call it something. No, it's not just business. You're making a business on lies and deceptions and actually a murder machine, a disgusting murder machine. That's not okay. That's just not okay. Just because that's not okay. That's bullshit. Yeah, that's pretty much bullshit. I don't know. I don't know why people would defend the system like that. It's bullshit. It's utter criminal. How can you defend a criminal system just because, but it's just in regards of industry, medical mafia and all that, right? The medical industry are just there to earn money and all that. So now it's okay that they bullshit and then it's okay. It's okay because they're just there to earn money. So it's okay to lie and deceive and promote all these, Yeah, it's just and attack all the natural things and call all the others quacks, right? When they themselves are snake oil salesmen, on a huge level, and actually murderers with bloody hands, They have hands that wants to, what's it called, strangle you, Closed eyes, ears that does not hear, and mouth that does not speak righteousness, and hands that wants to strangle you. That's pretty much the system, I think, in a nutshell, in some sense. Yeah, and they don't want you to have too much antifungal, things, medicine, because that's the cause. The cause is fungus, but they want it to be about bacteria and give you fungus poison, which of course they don't call it that. They call it antibiotic, which means against life. But of course you probably don't know that because you don't know Latin. And so anyway, think about a doctor, saying, take this fungus poison. What? Yeah, you just take this fungus poison and you will be all right. Well, we have pretty much taken this poison from a mold and we have concentrated into a pill. And if you take that pill, you will solve your issue. Okay. I have to think about that. Man, it doesn't sound so good, I don't think it sounds so good to, you want me to take mold poison? You want to, in a concentrated form, and you want me to eat that? And okay. Yeah, I think are you outrageous? Are you a nutcase? Are you totally lost your mind? So anyway, we just call it antibiotic, right? Yeah, antibiotic that destroys. Well, it might destroy some of the so-called bad guys, but it also destroys the good guys. And then you have a fungus running wild, and it seems it might actually take years for it actually to show itself in some sense that the what is it called that the issues might show up. What is it called? When you have killed off the good bacteria and the bad guys, the fungus, or well, that actually can be used for a purpose. Yet when the good guys is not there anymore to keep them in check, you have a fungus running wild. And there you go. Huge amount of issues coming up. And they don't want you to have antifungals. Because antifungals is the cause. The cause is fungus. So they are misdiagnosed. No, and these people are good people and bullshit. Bullshit. These people are not good, Who is good but God? It's really defending these people. I just think it's bullshit, let's just wait 100 years, 200 years more or something like that for them to figure out that, it was bad. Well, 300 years. How many so-called New World Order, which is just the old world order, which is pretty much the poop doom, as I call it, with the Roman Emperor as the head of the entire world. That seems to be coming around, and it seems to be going pretty quickly in our days. And the people and the world rounding around the Antichrist of the number 666. So, yep, the triune tyrant. But apparently no one knows about that anymore, because the Protestants don't protest anymore, because they don't even know who the Antichrist is anymore. Because that was what the Protestant protested against. That was what every single Protestant knew, who the Antichrist was. Do you know who the Antichrist is? If you don't know, then you have to ask the question, why don't I know? Because every single Protestant in the past knew who the Antichrist was. Just go and read their books. Again, book after book after book. It's just a second nature to them. So who is the Antichrist? Well, the Antichrist is the papacy. The office and seat of the papacy is the Antichrist. And no one wants to listen to that anymore, apparently. No, we want to sing love songs to the triune tyrant. The Pontifex Maximus, the high pagan priest. Yep, anyway. And Caesar, the emperor, who calls himself the King of Kings and Lord of Lords. Yeah, taking all the titles of God upon himself. Well, the Antichrist, who is against Christ. Actually, that is like antibiotic, right? Against life. Antichrist against Christ. So there's some other words as well, but that, it's just and oh yeah, what is it called? Antimycoticum or something like that. Let's see if I can actually. Antimycoticum is against what? Fungus. So that would be two words, meaning, okay, let's see here. Antimycoticum, this is the Danish form. I think there's a C in the English. No. I was antifungals, maybe antifungals. It's hard to remember all these different words. Antifungal medication, mycosis. Here we go, antimycotic. And in Danish, we, antimycoticum. And then we have the plural, which is antimycotica, something like that, whatever. But then we have the antimycotic. And of course, we could look up anti, we know is against, and then we could look up mycotic, which is something in regards to fungi, as far as I know. Let's see, meaning. Mycos, no, that's mycosis. Why is mycotic? Here we go, mycotic, definition of mycotic. Of relating to or caused by fungus. Okay, so mycotic is in regards of against fungus. So like antibiotic is against life, but it's actually antibacteria. Actually, I had a game where you have antibacteria and antifungus, where they use more natural names for it. Against bacteria or against fungus. Of course, we don't know all these things because the white coat Latin bullshitters are not speaking English or Danish. They just use these big words and all that, and looking at these articles that is there. Let's see here. Looking at these scientist articles, or whatever you want to call it. Let's see this for page 4. Let's just read a little about this. This is a usual scientific paper, I guess. It's a defense from a Danish fungal doctor, that knows fungi, that works for the State Institute of. Anyway, she's probably one of the biggest experts in Denmark on fungi, I would guess. It seems like she is the head in both the state thing and the hospital in Copenhagen and all that. So she seems to be one of the, and this is the report that is, and she's defending 7, and she also writes on PubMed and all that. I do wonder if there's anything in regards of colloidal silver on PubMed, because the Danish, apparently this woman has released on PubMed. So I do wonder in regards of the colloidal silver from the Danish guy named, can't remember his name, but he's also working on the State Institute. And they made a research paper on colloidal silver, and I asked him if I could get the report that they made. And he said, no, it has to be accepted another place first and all that. So it's sent, So I wasn't allowed, at least by him, to get the paper. I don't know in regards if you're in regards of advocate and all that, because I guess we the people should be allowed to have access to these things, I would think. At least if it's like state thing, if in regards of the state, you should be able to get the information, I would think. It shouldn't be secret. It should just be in the open. But that was the Danish web page in regards to engineers, having interesting articles sometimes. And one of actually multiple articles was about this subject. So I wanted to see this report myself, right? Apparently, the guy wouldn't give it to me, but I do wonder if it actually was published on PubMed. I don't know. Maybe it is on PubMed. Who knows? That is. So I don't know. So let's try to read some of these things, and there's a lot of I see. So this is the paper, and I'm still reading it, and getting more understanding of their way of using language and being able to trying to decipher, and getting more knowledge in regards of Candida albicans and the different forms of fungi and all that. But overall, the thing is, I still need the nystatin and the diflucan. It doesn't matter how much I read. If it works, it will work. If it doesn't work, it will not work. I pretty much know the doses that I probably would need. Nystatin, it seems like you can't take too much nystatin. So nystatin is to local use in regards of the mouth. If you have anything, you can swirl it around in regards to the liquid form. And then the stomach, the gut, and going through the butthole. That's pretty much the local effect of nystatin. That wipes out Candida albicans and other fungi. But it's primarily used for Candida, I think. I can't remember. Let's see. There's different species that it kills off. I have a document on that as well in regards of where they tested different species, and kills them off. The only thing that I'm afraid of is that they can do maybe the same as antibiotic and maybe destroy something that you actually need in the gut, But, yeah. But the idea of using nystatin is to get the balance again, because it's only in regards to the local gut that it kills off these things. It's not in the systemic in regards to the body itself. Nystatin works from here, going down there in the stomach, gut, and out the butthole. That's pretty much it. So there's not really that many, and I've read that there's not really any upper doses. There's not an upper limit of doses or anything like that, and it's really not. It seems like, but anyway, of course, I would have to try that out and see how that works. I've heard that something in regards of the candida can make in the gut that it makes it harder for the body to get up nutrients, because it makes like a. And the thing is, there's so many informations out there. So the question is, what is true and what is not true and all that. But the idea then in regards to nystatin would be that it would wipe this layer of this, fungi, out. So the body would be having easier to actually get the nutrients for. Now, of course, if you then have fungi in the systemic as well, as I think I have, then of course you're still feeding that. That will still steal nutrients from you and so forth. So that's why I would need the diflucan, because the diflucan kills off candida in the body. It's called the one cure pill in regards of women issues, the vagina. But the thing is, the diflucan doesn't just work in the vagina. It works throughout the whole body. So again, I have had a little hard to actually get the diflucan. I'm still trying to figure out a way to get some diflucan. And I know it's not the whole thing, because, if you're feeding the fungi while you're taking antifungals, that won't work, Well, so that's it might work, but it will absolutely lessen your chance of it actually working. What's the idea of feeding the critter, the monster, while you're killing it off? That doesn't make sense at all. Stop feeding it and, get going, right? Anyway, so that makes sense, I think. Yeah. But, you have Candida albicans, the Candida dubliniensis, and I think dubliniensis is actually the form that actually looks very much like Candida, and as I understand it, they actually didn't know there was a difference before they could actually check the DNA or something like that, the code. Then we have Candida glabrata, Candida cruzia, or something like that, Candida tropicalis, Candida guillemondi, Candida lupolytica, Candida parapsilosis, and Candida metapslosis, and Candida autopslosis, or something like that. And then, of course, they use a C to, not write Candida. They use all these short forms, and that's seemingly also something that they tend to do in the medical books and the games, and where you just see a letter, and I'm like, so what does that letter means? And then you have the name of it, and I was like, okay, so what is the name of the, yeah, anyway. So that's something to try to decipher as well. So let's see. Compared to resistance incidence rates in bacteria, acquired resistance in Candida is a rather rare event. Acquired resistance in Candida is rather rare event. Candida is not a contagious disease, and thus resistance isolates are rarely transmitted from patient to patient. And I do remember in regards I had my issues in regards of my, and I went out whoring, in my, and it didn't really seem to actually move along in regards of being a problem for. So I guess if the woman actually have all the good bacteria and all that, and in order and all that, it would be. But of course, if the woman is compromised in regards of I would think that it would be possible to actually, to transmit it from the man to the woman. That makes sense. If she has problems, that, and yeah, then I think, just more to the, what do you call it? Anyway. And thus resistance isolates are rarely transferred from patient to patient. Moreover, resistance mechanisms cannot be transferred via plasmids among yeast cells. No idea what plasmids is. But again, this is the language that they use, Hence, resistant, this must be one of the most, highest experts in Denmark on fungi. And hence resistance has to arise in the each isolate during antifungal exposure, which probably is the reason for the limited level of acquired resistance in a global perspective. Reference methods for antifungal susceptibility. And susceptibility is just a very hard word to actually pronounce, but it's just the same as like a resistance, but it's like if it's susceptible, I guess it's kind of the opposite, if it's susceptible for the drug, let's see here. Okay, if you have 7% chance, around 7% chance that the Candida albicans might already be resistant to diflucan, then it would, let's see here, the resistance would then be like a 7% resistance, and regards to susceptibility would be that it has 93% of susceptibility, as I understand it. So, yeah, if you can. Yeah. Anyway, it's but it's a long, hard word. Susceptibility. Yeah. I don't know even. I don't know if I'm saying this right. Let's see if we can get the word whip here. Anyway. Oh, it's actually getting close to 6 o'clock, so can actually. I was thinking of going for a swim. I did do a swim yesterday, but I should get an hour in the swimming to try to get the body on the. But I smashed my back and it's not good. It's everything. It's going downhill. It's not good. That's really not good. Let's see here. Susceptibility is okay, SUS. Stability. Anyway, I'm taking a lot of antifungals again here in the morning, and should make some tea, but that was the thing that I burned yesterday. At least it was good that I didn't use new tea. It was like, I have a way of using this Ibroso or something like that, this antifungal tea, like, first making the hardcore doses and then just making another one or maybe even two afterwards just to get it all out there so I'm not wasting. It's pretty expensive, so. Susceptibility, the state of being susceptible, easily affected.
Susceptibility.
Oh, you just need it.
Susceptibility.
That was very, very low. Oh, maybe it's because it has, this. I don't know why they, this is stupid,
Susceptibility.
Susceptibility, yeah. I don't know if there's any, what do you call it? Let's see if we can get this. But again, it's just so stupid that you need multiple programs when on the Nokia N8, it just, you had one program and you could just look at multiple there we go, susceptibility and temperament, the position, but anyways, it should be but let's see if we can get no, that's not susceptible. In regards of anyway, I don't have a medical book. I had in my old Nokia N8, and again, I think I had like four the Webster dictionaries in one program. You could have it all in one program. You just needed to install them in the right, if you wanted this to be, on top and this to be second and third and fourth and all that. And I had the medical book in the last, because usually the medical is the last thing, So I had like a Webster easy, quick reference, and then I had the more normal, I think, and then I had the college version or something like that, or the big version. I can't totally remember, but I think I had 4, and I think that was 5 in total that you could actually install. Sadly, I didn't keep Well, of course, the N8 was a very small screen and all that, but it was just an amazing program. And I thought in regards of Android, it would be much easier, right? And it was just, but no. You actually have Merriam-Webster dictionary, just the normal version, and then you have Webster dictionary, and you have to have more programs. They don't incorporate them in the. It's just stupid. And why not have one program and then you can could install. I don't understand it. People, these companies just making it harder. If you just made one program, one application that all these dictionaries could use, so you could install whatever you wanted and have it in the program. So you had like this, and if you just search on one word, that it actually would search on all these. How hard can it be? But apparently very hard in this demonic world that it's not for the user but against the user, and they want control and adware and spyware and all that bullshit. I bought 2 of these applications, and if I update them, there's now spyware in them. It's incredible. Who do you think they are? Putting spyware in software that I paid for. But, well, that's the diabolical world of, it's incredible. So that's, by the way, in regards to Merriam-Webster. Merriam-Webster have spyware if you update them. It's just bullshit, So that's pretty much it. Yeah. So let's see. Yeah. And again, if you go back to the Nokia N8, you could install. There was this package. Merriam-Webster stood for this, and you had the application. It was very, just search. You have all the books, Again, how hard does it need to be? Just make one application, making it available that you can buy the Merriam-Webster module or whatever, the Webster diction, the college edition and the WordWeb audio and all of these. Just make one application instead of making each application for each of these. Make one application, then you can just fix all these things into and buy it as modules. How hard can it be? It's incredible. Oh no. And if you can hear something in the background, that's my my fan for the laptop. The laptop is old, and the fan in the laptop itself is broken, and the outside fan that I put on is apparently also broken. As you can hear, very annoying. More resistance mechanism can be transferred via plasmid among yeast cells. Hence, resistance has to arise in each isolate during antifungal exposure, which probably is the reason for the limited level of acquired resistance in a global perspective. Reference methods for antifungal susceptibility testing. A range of and again, that's the 93% in regards of being killed by this fungicidal, which is in regards to diflucan, right? And then you have around 7% that the fungi might already be resistant to this drug, okay? And this diflucan is not a natural product as such. This is something that, as I understand it, that they made in the laboratory, but it was made to kill off fungi. Nystatin is a more natural product in regards of it actually coming from a bacteria. So instead of being like an antibiotic, which is usually made from mold or fungi, being poisoned from fungi. This is actually the nystatin is a poison against fungi by bacteria. No, so but again, I don't know, and I haven't tried it, so I don't have much experience if nystatin could do anything. I've pretty much only heard positive responses, but that's not that. I probably should search more into it. But of course, I guess I'll just have to try it out and see. Yeah. And I've seen some sources that says that the candida does not become resistant to nystatin inside the body. But then I think I've read another post that he said that it actually was resistant to nystatin. So, and yeah, because he said he needed diflucan. He had sent this. It was one of these guys that have access to things and all that that is in the system itself. And apparently he had attracted candida himself. So apparently he knew who to, he sent it like to 3 laboratory things, these tests, and he figured out that he had, he had Candida albicans, but he actually had a strain that was very resistant to huge amount of things except diflucan. So that was interesting. But I think he actually talked about nystatin actually being that the fungi was resistant to nystatin. And he didn't understand how he could get it because he felt like, if I remember correctly, he felt like he had lived a pretty good life. He didn't think he would. I can't remember the details. But anyway, he was surprised that he had it, in regards of this resistance of this bugger as well. How resistant it actually was. So, and it seemed like it was ruining his life as so many other people because the medical mafia won't look on this issue. Only when you got HIV or cancer and that you're near death, then you can have apparently fungi. But you cannot apparently have issues with fungi if you are like me and still, not having cancer or whatever. Cancer is pretty much fungus, right? So, any case, or that you have HIV, and which apparently is said to be a virus. I don't know, I'm still learning, a lot of things that I don't know. So, let's see here. So, reference methods for antifungal susceptibility testing. A range of factors influence for the endpoint achieved when performing susceptibility testing. To see if things is actually susceptible for the drug. If it actually works, if it kills them, if it's fungicidal in regards of killing them, and exploding them. Oh, I would love to try. I really hope the diflucan would work. I would look at the blue sky and just look at the candida in my eyes. They're just exploding. Whatever. I don't know if I will be able to see it, but it seems like diflucan can work pretty quickly in the body. If you think about women issues, one diflucan, and all that, and apparently can clear it up. Sometimes you need more than one, but apparently it can clear the problem up pretty quickly. So, so you should be able, because diflucan works in the eyes as well. So if what I have in my eyes are Candida albicans, it should kill them off if it's not, this one of these 7% resistance. Anyway. But that's still 93% chance that it will work, So again, if it doesn't work, there's, one could, either it's not Candida or it's one of these 7% and so forward. In any case, again, that's speculations. It's just easier to just get the diflucan and try it out. This is also called fluconazole. I guess things are becoming easier to remember these things here and there. But I still have the itch. Itchy. At least it has lessened a lot down there in the south. Under the belt. That's very nice. Just eating meat, just eat meat and, keeping away from sugar really, really, really helps, you know. If you have a problem down there, you know, and the doctor just thinks you're crazy and all that, and it's in the beginning and all that, try eating only meat. You know, only meat. Water and meat. Try that for a couple of days and see if your symptom actually begins to, because you might actually take it on the point where you might act, where your body might actually still be able to return to its, you know, normal state. You know, we are all, you know, we are all different in a way, but I've had this for 19 years, you know, so I don't, you know, I'm probably going for the grave. I don't know, but in any case, you know, the longer you've had it, the more that it has, you know, put root down, you know, being able to spread in your body and all that. So if I knew what I know today, the first thing I would do was to try to eat only meat. Only meat. No sugar, soda pops, no alcohol, nothing of that nature. Meat, and more meat, and water. Just be aware that it can be a little harder on the toilet thing and all that if you eat only meat. But in any case, it's possible, but it does become a little harder, and you don't poop so much either, because you know the body uses the meat. So don't be just be aware of that. You know, I was like, oh, have I stopped myself or something like that when I began eating meat? But I found out it's because the body actually uses. If you want a little more in regards of some fiber and all that, get some avocados or cucumbers, but just be aware that, you know, if you just eat the meat, you only have that factor. You don't have any factors, and then you can build on that, you know, afterwards. And see what you react to and what you don't react. If you have an itch down there and it's a fungal issue and your doctor don't want to help you in regards of antifungals and all that, well, you know, try the meat only. And who knows, your body might be able to fix itself in the beginning. But the longer you wait, the harder it will get, the less chance or less likely you will actually overcome this issue, as far as I can see. Because again, the more roots it makes, you know, and the more suppressing it will do to your system and so forward. So yeah, so the quicker that you can actually get this under control, the better. So, and if you can just fix it with just eating meat, you know. Sadly, you know, it took me 19 years or something like that to figure that out. To find out that, you know, because I became a vegetarian and all that, just made stupid, because just made things a lot worse. And juice fasted, a lot of sugar, just feeding the fungi. Anyway, I was trying different things to try to get this thing solved. But yeah, again, the incompetence of these medical, you know, white coat murderers, you know, it's just incredible. Reference methods for, and again, if you're a woman, it's much easier to see that you have a fungal issue, right? In regards to the vagina and all that, and then they can give you diflucan. But being a man, it's a little harder to actually figure out. Apparently, when you're a man, you cannot have any fungal, you know, so no one tried diflucan on me. Not a single one. Hey, get some psychotropic drugs, you know, instead. It's just, they're totally nutcases. Or trying you to, you know, trying you to shrink. You know, just, it's insane. It's utterly insane. It's utter criminal, actually. It's because they're incompetent. It's an incompetent system that actually just murders people, you know, and so many, you know, it's like a range of factors influence the endpoint achieved when performing susceptible testing by modifying the test medium. Let's see here, go on. But this is the language that they use, you know, and you see, but again, you know, I guess over time you will be better. But I guess if I had a medical, you know, dictionary that, of course, we have the internet now and all that. But I just don't understand why Google cannot, you know, why these, then you have one program for one thing and another program for another thing, and not just having one program where you can buy the modules for these different dictionaries and having a standard to follow. needing only one program, buying the modules you need, and then, having them installed in the application. It's just making one application that can pretty much do everything and anything, what these people, voice, sound, and all of that. And then in regards to the modules, can then fix it in regards of, apparently too difficult or too, and no spyware in these applications, okay? If you're going to have some spyware, let the user know. Just don't install the spyware without actually letting the user know. So I need another program to actually figure out, uh-oh, you have spyware. Yeah. And when you find out they have spyware, and actually, some of them actually, some of the companies that I've tried to, what shall we say, expose in regards to this, actually reacts to it, and some of them just defends that they have put spyware in their application. Just outrageous. Well, you never told the user, did you, that you're actually collecting data from him without his knowledge, Oh, well. Anyway, type, brand, batch, inoculum size, inoculum growth phase, incubation temperature, incubation time, definition at endpoint, 50%, 80%, 100% inhibition. The MIC may vary. Again, one of these short forms that I have no idea what means, MIC. So the MIC may vary. In example, we evaluate the influence of the direction of incubation for fluconazole, that's diflucan, and amphotericin, MICs, for various candida species by comparing MICs obtained after 24 to 48 hours of incubation. Paper 2, they use Latin 2, and he actually writes in parentheses 2. So, not surprisingly, the MIC was lower for the 24 than the 48-hour reading, with the MIC 50 of 0.25 milligram per liter, I think. So 0.06 to 32 microgram per... Oh, it's a milli? Is it milli or micro? Actually, I think it's milli, maybe. Micro is the Greek side. No, is that Greek? No, I can't remember. No. Oh, anyway, that's micro, so that's milli. Sorry, it's milli, I think. Milli is a -3, right? So it's milligram. So not 0.25 milligram per liter and 0.06 to 32 milligram per liter versus VS, versus 2 milligram per liter. 0.06 to is bigger or equal, I think it's called, isn't it? Like the bigger or equal to 64 milligram per liter. I'm not sure how in regards to it eats this direction and that direction. I can't remember. I think the bigger size needs to be bigger, right? So if you have the big size here in regards to this sign, this numbers needs to be bigger than this sign, right? Yeah, I think that was like how it was. So for fluconazole, let's see here. So bigger or equal to 64 milligrams per liter for fluconazole and 0.25 milligrams per liter. Parentheses smaller than 0.03 to 1 milligram per liter. Versus 1 milligram per liter, parentheses 0.25 to 2 milligram per liter for amphotericin. And I think that's in regards of the thing that they put directly into the blood. Respectively, 2, figure 3. Subsequently, we demonstrated that using a less stringent endpoint of 50% growth inhabitation rather than 80% inhabitation results in a one-step difference in the MIC, unpublished observation, figure 3. So what is the MIC? No idea. But again, we have a lot, when you're reading these, you have a lot of short forms, Let's see, MIC medical dictionary. Let's see if we can just do that. And maybe I should take a break because I need to poop and get some trash out. So let's just have the MIC abbreviation for maternal and infant care. So that's in regards to children or what? So MIC, maternal and infant care, medical intensive care. Okay, that's apparently different. Medical industry complex, medical intensive care, mitral. Okay, microscopy maybe? Microscopy maybe. MIC microscopy. Let's see here. Anyway, I'll have a break. I'll just go to the throne and have a poop. So, see you later.